Okay, open your eyes. Where was the thought? When you looked at it, where was it?
Evaporated.
Did you all feel that? The moment you look at it, there's nothing there. Nothing. Complete blank. You see? Why? Because a thought can only feel real as long as it is unconscious. The moment you see a thought as a thought, it comes to you and, oh, just a thought. It's gone. You see? And that's what freedom is. That's what liberation is. That's what awakening is. See, because the moment you see a thought as a thought, it has no power over you anymore. But the reason is that 99.9% of the population, they don't see a thought as a thought. They say, oh, this is how I see the world, this is how I feel. You see? And they do not realize it is thought that is speaking. The whole me structure is a thought. So, and then we go back into the difference between thought and me, and they're both the same until you look at it. And then you find out, because the moment you look at me, and I'm repeating myself, you'll find that there is no me. But I'm still here. And who is this that is here? Jesus made a beautiful statement, it's so beautiful. He said, the mystery is how Christ lives in every heart. You see? So each one of us is complete. Each one of us is fullness itself. And yet we feel that separation. But if we were to go into that feeling of knowing, we find that we are cosmic being. The cosmic being is looking through our eyes. So right now, the one who is looking, the one who is experiencing, is not your ego, is not you. It is the Christ. You see? The larger me, the higher me. There's a question I'd like to explore with you here. So now let's go into something else. What is the difference between truth and thought?
Truth is consciousness.
Truth is consciousness, isn't it? Okay. So when does consciousness become a thought? Because it has to. Because consciousness is all there is, isn't it? Consciousness is all there is. There is nothing else but consciousness. So consciousness must become a thought because the world was created. That is.
Well, isn't that just the product of mind? I mean, it's just what mind does.
And what is mind?
It's just like a bubble machine.
It's a thought. You see? When we say with my mind, I can be logical. What is logical? Putting thoughts together to make sense. Memory, recollection of what happened. Okay? So it's a memory process, the whole thing. What is memory? Thought.
Yeah.
Thought manifest. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh. Okay? Thought. So in the beginning, thought always existed. So now, to see the difference between truth and thought, and you'll find that you cannot separate them. Do not take my word for it, okay? Let's explore it, because this is so beautiful. The difference between consciousness and, which is truth. Consciousness is all there is. We are conscious beings. But the moment you use consciousness, you create thought. What you're conscious of is a thought. Consciousness itself is not a thought. Consciousness can be aware of that thought. So it creates and is aware of what it creates. You see? Although seemingly there are two different things, yet they are one. They're one and the same thing. So here leads us to the understanding that there's no beginning or end.
It's just our ideas about things, even whatever.
It's our ideas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything is just our idea. Yeah. Even when we think about a beginning, there has never been a beginning. It's causeless. We think of a creator. Buddha made it very clear, there is no creator. Just is. Now, can you understand is? Course in Miracles says God is. Can you understand that? No. If you try, you can go batty. Yeah. It's not possible. Because truth is just energy. Just energy. And then that energy moves. How? It just moves. And then when it moves, we call it waves and particles, and molecular structure becomes matter. But that is the very nature of energy. Energy always manifests, is always manifesting, but the manifestation is always changing. And the fact that we can experience change means we are changeless. Are we very clear on that? In the morning you experience change. In the noon you experience change. In the evening you experience change. But the you who experienced that change saw all the changes. But the reason you saw all the changes, because you, who's aware of the change, is not the change. Because change cannot see change. You see? But the two have to be one. And it is that oneness which is the wholeness, which is the cosmic being. Okay, are there any questions?
Burt, so like if you're in a state of just mystery, like you don't know, like say you're contemplating on who you are, and you don't know.
Isn't that beautiful?
But is there not really thought if you're in that state? Like, you don't know.
Oh yeah, thoughts come to you. This is it. And that's why you have to acknowledge the fact that you really don't know. And you accept that unknowing. That unknowing automatically becomes a feeling inside that knows. See, this is the paradox. Okay? Thoughts will come, yes. Oh, thoughts. We've read so much, we heard so much. There are so many people, Plato, Socrates, all their thoughts are still floating around. Everything is just still part of the cosmic whole. So thoughts are always coming to us, making us think we know something. But as long as you think you know something, all you know is a thought. And it can never be sure. And that's the difference. As long as you think you know, down deep inside, suppose you know that you can never die. You believe that you will never die. At the moment of death, you suffer fear. Because thought can never know for sure beyond a doubt. But in your heart, in your being, in your very essence, there is the answer. But the first thing we have to do is to quiet the mind. And you only quiet the mind by accepting that we don't know. And that very acknowledgement of not knowing and reveling and celebrating it, you see, comes an innocence. An innocent feeling that comes to know. And that knowing becomes very, very strong. For example, it's been a fact. People who are going to die, terminally ill, they fight it, they resist it. I don't want to die. I know I'm going to die, but I don't want to die. Okay? Remember that all emotional pain is a contradiction. It's a contradiction of what you really want. You see? So, but suppose you come to a point where you say, I'm going to die. And there's nothing I can do about it. You see? The moment you accept it, you experience a great joy. That's guaranteed. That is a fact. Now, very few people are aware of that. The moment you accept the inevitable, there's a complete shift in consciousness.